Have you received a party wall notice? What does this mean, and what are your options? If you've received a party wall notice, you may be wondering what it means and what your options are. First, let's define what a party wall is. A party wall is a shared wall between two properties. It can also include garden walls, floors, or ceilings separating two buildings. If your neighbor is planning to do any work on their property that could potentially affect the structural integrity of your property, they are required by law to serve you with a party wall notice. This notice should be provided at least 1 month prior to the work's planned start date, or in some instances, at least 2 months. This longer notice period is required when the work directly affects the shared structure between the two properties. This includes party walls, floors, or ceilings. The party wall notice should detail the work that is going to take place and how it might affect your property. It should also include the start date of the work, the name of the building owner, and any relevant drawings or plans. Legal timings. After receiving a party wall notice, the recipient has 14 days to respond by either agreeing to the work, dissenting to the work, or appointing their own party wall surveyor. If there is no response within 14 days, a second notice will be issued, giving the recipient 10 days to respond. If there is still no response after 10 days, a dispute is considered to have arisen, and both parties must appoint their own surveyors. It's important to respond to the notice promptly to avoid delays and legal complications. What are your options? You have 3 options when you receive a party wall notice. Option 1. Consent to the notice. If you choose to consent to the work and allow your neighbor to proceed, please keep in mind that you will not have any professional input from a party wall surveyor. While this is the simplest option, it's important to ensure that you're comfortable with the work that is being done and that your property will not be negatively affected. It's also advisable to ask your neighbor for details about the proposed work and to seek professional advice if you have any concerns. Option 2. Dissent and appoint an agreed surveyor. In this case, a party wall surveyor will be appointed to safeguard both parties' properties and mediate between you and your neighbor. The surveyor will assess the extent of the work and determine the measures that need to be taken to protect both properties. The surveyor will also ensure that the party wall agreement is fair and balanced, considering the interests of both parties. By appointing an experienced and qualified agreed surveyor, you can be confident that your property is safeguarded and that any potential disputes are resolved fairly and amicably. Option 3. Dissent and appoint a surveyor to act solely on your behalf. This option is similar to option 2, however. You will have your own party wall surveyor to act solely on your behalf, meaning 2 surveyors would agree on the party wall award rather than 1. So there you have it. Those are your options if you receive a party wall notice. If you have any questions or concerns, get in touch with Icon Surveyors for your 15-minute free consultation.